Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Jordan Leandro, and welcome back. Every time I start this, I look down and I see Jack. I'm like trying to hold back laughter. It pisses me off.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Look. All right. I'm Jordan Leandro. Welcome back to the Massholes with Mike's podcast. This is episode 7. We've been doing this I feel like we've been doing a lot more than 7 episodes in all seriousness, but
How many? No idea.
I feel like we've done more than 7, but according to my when I type in the title for everything, the last one was 6. So, but anyway, Jordan Leandro, like I said, joined as always by Jack McGalvin and Jeremy Guerin. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. I got a shot this morning and I didn't pass out, so that was a huge step for me. Yeah, I'm ready to talk about some sports.
Jeremy,
I got a Brewers All-Star Game hat going. So I'm ready to roll.
The NL's best team. Just kidding. They suck this year too.
Guess who is the NL's best team though?
Yeah, I know. We'll talk about that later.
Love it.
It's not the team that I'm wearing, which is the Atlanta Braves, but they're up there too.
Yeah,
they're up there too.
But so what hat are you wearing, Jeremy?
So I got the Brewers All-Star Game.
Oh, I thought that you said that you had that on the way.
No.
Oh,
it's already
here. That is.
Love this hat. This hat is clean.
It's sick. I love it.
The Brewers thing on top.
Yeah, I love that.
And I am, as always, not wearing a hat, so I'm left out yet again.
We'll have to get you some hats when you come back to school again.
I literally only have an Emerson hat. I have a Patriots hat that's really cool. It has like Julian Edelman's signature on the side. And then a Red Sox hat, which I literally just got at the end of this year. So that's good for me.
Gotta work on my collection. You gotta.
Okay.
It is.
But jumping right in, because the NBA free agency, we haven't really reacted to anything. I know the last one we did, we were trying to figure out we predicted where we thought Kawhi Leonard would wind up going. And I think Jeremy picked the Lakers. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know I picked the Clippers because
I don't remember what I picked.
That's where I was adamant about all along. But or you were saying you're preparing yourself for him to sign with the Lakers,
yes,
even though you didn't think or want that to happen.
Yes.
But he wound up signing with the Clippers in kind of it was huge. Like, was it 2:00 in the morning Eastern time when he signed?
That was really annoying.
That was such a Spurs move of him because remember Tim Duncan retired overnight too, and Kawhi Leonard signs at 2:00 in the morning, and then I blink after reading the Woj tweet about him signing with the Clippers, and I'm like, what? They got Paul George too? Ridiculous. And this is kind of the offseason that the NBA has been waiting for a handful of years now, where all the big name free agents are going to Golden State, but now there's so much parity in the league. There's dynamic duos on almost every single good team in both conferences, and I love that for the league at least. Makes it more fun.
Yeah, I don't like super teams, and I know, like I've said before, I kind of sound hypocritical as a Patriots fan, but I really don't think that they are a super team. That's just my opinion. I just think that they're good because Tom Brady's insane and they have great coaching. Anyways, we're not talking about football. I don't Golden State always just pissed me off because people would just sign 1 year contracts with them and it's ring chasing, and I don't like that. I don't know. I always like underdog mentality teams, and I think that there's kind of splitting up all the superstars, I guess you could say, and either pairing them up or having them go on their own teams or whatever. I think that that's really good for the NBA, and I think it will boost ratings because there's more than just one team. Because now I feel like there's no guaranteed team that's gonna get to the finals this year. In either because every year it's Golden State's gonna be the Western Conference, representative, and the East, once LeBron James left it this year, that was kind of up in the air. So I think that it's cool that, I don't know, I feel like both conferences are kind of up in the air. I mean, there's definitely strong contenders in each conference, but still, you never know, or you don't know now, which is cool.
The West is absolutely loaded. Thank the Lord that Kawhi Leonard did us all a favor without joining up with LeBron and being his move in sports history. By going to the Lakers. now you have a bunch of really good duos as opposed to the big three that everyone had coveted for so long in the NBA. The East has, I think, about 4 good teams. The West has about 8, and it's a steep drop off for the West, and the East just goes steadily downwards as you go throughout the conference. In terms of the Kawhi thing, it was one of the few nights that I didn't have a 6 a.m. shift the next day, so I actually stayed up for one. I went to like 12:30 in the morning, and I was like, all right, you know what? I worked today. I'm tired. Let me go to sleep. I wake up the next day, and I see Jordan and I think it was Pat freaking out in our group chat, and I go, holy crap, what the hell happened? And I look, and it's just Kawhi Leonard has agreed to go to the Los Angeles Clippers, and Paul George has been traded for 7 first-round picks. And I'm like, okay, I like Paul George. He is not worth 7 first-round picks. However, if the only way Kawhi Leonard was going to go to the Clippers was if Paul George went with him. So in that sense, yes, I guess 7 picks are worth Paul George, who finished top 3 in the MVP, and Kawhi Leonard, probably the best player in the world right now with Durant.
Yeah, I agree. And like you nailed it on the head. I was about to say, I think 7 first-round picks for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard is a lot better than if they traded for Paul George and Kawhi's like, yeah, peace out, I'm going to the Lakers anyway. So they definitely, I think they were thinking more along the lines of these 7 first-round picks. They're not going to amount to what Paul George and Kawhi Leonard could bring us, especially if they win a title in the first couple of years of these deals. That makes it all that much more worth it.
Yeah. I'm really excited though because it's always kind of said that like the Lakers are LA's team, and so I'm kind of excited that like there's kind of a rivalry within LA now, which is kind of cool. Because the Lakers the Lakers are the Lakers. Like, they'll always have a bigger following, in my opinion, just, like, around the country. Because, like, there are, like, certain teams in sports that can grab, I don't know, just, like, the big-name teams in sports from the major market cities. And, like, the Clippers are not that team. But now with, like, Kawhi going there and Paul George going there, I feel like it's kind of going to reignite that fan base, which is kind of cool to see like how that rivalry within the city is going to work. So I'm excited to see that.
Those matchups at Staples Center are going to be sick. LeBron, AD, Kawhi, and Paul George going head to head.
That's insane.
Who's the worst of those 4?
The worst of those 4?
Yeah.
Probably Paul George.
But it's close.
But it's really close, yeah.
Paul George had such a great year last year, and Anthony Davis got hurt.
Like, I think Paul George would have wound up winning MVP if he didn't hurt his shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's so good about it, though. You got this rivalry just building and building and building, and the Clippers have long been the little brother, just like the Nets have in the city of LA, because the Lakers are one of the great global brands in the world. Probably, like, as much as I hate to say it, the Yankees, the Lakers,
the Dodgers,
Manchester United. I don't know about the Dodgers. Those are, I think, the 3 big brands: Manchester United, the Lakers, and the Yankees. That's it. Because they're the big baseball brand. They're the one that everybody knows.
That's true. I feel like a lot of people, I feel like the Dodgers are kind of like the West Coast version of the Yankees. I feel like, because like anyone in California, especially if like there are people who like move out to California, they always get a Dodgers hat. You know what I mean? Because it just says like LA on it. So I feel like it's probably bigger than we think it is like on the West Coast, just like from like average day-to-day people rather than like true like hardcore sports fans. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
My perception of it. Just because I feel like the Dodgers, like the Yankees too, are more of like a brand than an actual team to some people. Because, you know, like, I don't know, it's like for some, I want to use like girls, for example. Like some girls who don't follow sports are going to be like, oh, I like the Dodgers logo. It's like cool out on the West Coast. I'm going to get a Dodgers hat.
That's a Jeremy type mentality with some of these hats that I get to.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like, I watch like a YouTuber who's from Australia who moved to LA and she has a Dodgers hat. So like that's kind of where I'm coming from for that. But anyways, I digress.
I think
back to basketball.
Yeah, I think the only maybe the closest thing to a sure thing in the NBA as far as like a finals contender, I would think would probably be Milwaukee. The closest thing to like, I would say like an overwhelming favorite. I don't even think Milwaukee's an overwhelming favorite. I'm just saying if you had to pick one team from the East, I feel like most people would pick Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And they'd be right to do that.
And they'd be right to do that, but it's close. I think it'll be a lot closer than a lot of people are giving the East credit for. Like I think you can never sleep on Indiana. I know they're not going to be a finals contender, but they're always a team that's scrappy and can really beat you up for 7 games, whether they win the series or not.
And they get old.
Then there's Philly. Philly's still, they're still loaded, even though I don't think they're ever going to be a finals contender with Ben Simmons as their point guard. But Simmons, Horford, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid is still a pretty damn good lineup. And then even Boston, and if Jason Tatum could take that next step, and Jaylen Brown could take that next step. They still have Kemba, or they just got Kemba. Enes Kanter can play a lick of defense next year.
Taco Fall led Boston Celtics.
Taco Fall led.
Hyper on him is unbelievable, and I love it.
Yeah, but there's I don't even think he's gonna get a contract.
What?
Really?
It doesn't seem like he's going to.
Nah, he'll get a contract.
The last projected depth chart didn't have him on it.
Really?
He can definitely end up in Maine because they'll give him the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can only give 2 guys a 2-way contract.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they use one of them on Waters. I think the other one's going to be on that Strus guy.
Who?
That's what a lot of people are saying. Max Strus.
Oh.
Who's that?
I don't know.
I mean, if you want money.
Well, I'm just saying, the last 2 or 3 projected depth charts I've seen have had Waters and Strus get a 2-way deal.
For sure. He's looked really good in the summer.
Yeah.
And the other guy who's looked really good has been Carson Edwards.
Carson Edwards is a animal. He is, for lack of a better term, a walking bucket. That dude can score the basketball, and if he can, I don't know how many minutes he's gonna get out of the shoot, but you're rolling around December or January, and you have a rough scoring night. Carson Edwards is gonna go in and drop 20, and gonna establish a role in the rotation for the Celtics for the rest of the year. Because I think he might wind up being the best pick from this past draft class, in my opinion, because that dude can just score with the best of them.
Especially when you look at where you picked him.
Yeah, what was it, 33?
Something like that.
Yeah, so
yeah. But
it was a second-round pick.
Him and Marcus Smart are really intriguing to me. I think they're going to be really good, just because you got one guy who plays really good defense and can distribute the ball, and Carson Edwards can be a spot-up shooter, a really good spot-up shooter too.
And there's a lot of talk about the Celtics needing a bench scorer, and if Carson, it's a lot of pressure to put on a second-round pick in his first season, but crazier things have happened. Malcolm Brogdon won Rookie of the Year, and he was a second-round pick. So, I'm not saying he's going to win Rookie of the Year, but to think he is going to not be a productive player on a relatively young team, I think would be.
A lot of people like to sleep on these 3-year guys because they see the rookies, the one and dones, the freshmen, and they go, "Oh, that's the hype that we need to look at." But Josh Hart isn't a bad player. Buddy Hield isn't a bad player, and now you got Carson Edwards. All of these guys, I think, are 4-year starters or 4-year players at their respective colleges, and I think that's going to pay dividends for them in the future, especially drafting a guy like Carson Edwards, who, well, he's short. He isn't IT short, so that shouldn't hamper him too much.
Yeah, it's a maturity thing. I think for a lot of these guys, some people get a little overwhelmed because they're 19 years old going up against someone that's 30. He's been in the league for 10 years now. I don't know how old Carson Edwards is. Was he 22?
Yeah, he must be if he's
22, 23 years old. So he's still a rookie in his own regard, but he's older.
He has more experience.
Yeah, he gets it a little bit more. So I doubt he'll get intimidated. Now he may not be a stud like he's been in summer league or like he was in summer league in the NBA, but who knows? But another thing that happened in the NBA that's been taking at least NBA Twitter, making them going nuts, is the Russell Westbrook trade. That shocked me. That really shocked me. Not that he got traded, the fact he went to the Rockets. Him and James Harden get to team up again.
I don't know why James Harden wanted him back. I seriously don't. I don't
either, but Russell Westbrook really wanted to go play with him again, so.
Well, then that's even stupider. There's zero good reason that you would go in and bring Russell Westbrook into Houston. I think I said this in the group chat. You literally have to split the basketball in half in order to get them the that they need.
Yeah. I wonder, it's a huge if, but if one of them is willing to defer a little bit, and I know that's probably not going to happen. I would give it a 10% chance of happening, and that might even be generous. But I feel like if Russell Westbrook facilitated the trade a little bit to go to Houston and James Harden wanted him back, I feel like they're going to do at least a little bit to make sure that the other doesn't get pissed off. Now, this could either be a really fun season for the Houston Rockets and their fans, or this could be absolute misery. Like, if we're talking about those two guys at their absolute peak, so like Russell Westbrook averaging a triple-double and then James Harden averaging like 30 points a night, they should be the first seed in the Western Conference. They should. At least the top two.
They just need to figure out a way to work together.
Yeah.
If not, they're going to be the hot mess express.
Clint Capela's going to absolutely hate playing with those two next year. He's going to be trying to get rebounds, and Westbrook's going to be elbowing him out of the way.
Oh, I totally agree. Like I said, I don't see how this works in terms of spacing, shooting even, because Russell Westbrook can't shoot a three. Let's not forget that. And going on into a system led by Mike D'Antoni that prioritizes you being able to shoot a three-point shot.
Yep. And they got rid of a guy who, while he's definitely a lesser player than Russell Westbrook, he can actually shoot the three, at least at a decent level, considering the injuries and how old he is. But Chris Paul, who supposedly will not play a game for the Oklahoma City Thunder, that's what I was.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Where do you think that he's gonna end up?
I think Miami.
Really?
What did you say?
I think Miami.
I'd say Minnesota. I think that Minnesota has more assets to offer, and Miami has to make this cap thing work, and they can't trade what's his name, Tyler Harrow, for like another 2 months because he's a first-round draft pick, and that's who OKC wants.
I don't know. I feel like Miami could pull that off. I don't know, because I think Dragic would probably be in the deal. They're obviously going to throw in a bunch of first-round picks as well, or not even a bunch, but at least a couple, and then another cap filler like Olynyk, and then obviously Tyler Harrow once that becomes a possibility, if he's not already traded. But Minnesota's been looking for a point guard for years, like even back since the KG. Like they just have never had a point guard.
Jeff Teague. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I forgot they had Jeff Teague, but he got hurt a ton. So they the point guard search never ended. They just kind of had guys play point guard, like who am I thinking of? Tyus Jones, Ricky Rubio, Johnny Flynn. Like they had a bunch of random dudes playing point guard. Derrick Rose at one point. Like Timberwolves are a weird team.
Pistons right now. I found out about that the other day.
Yeah, I found that. I don't understand where some of these, like, what's up with some of these contracts. Like, why would Derrick Rose want to go to Detroit?
I don't know, but apparently he was really set on it.
Yeah, even though he was talking all like last year about how he would want to go back to Chicago, but then again, Isaiah Thomas did the same with Boston. He wound up with Washington, but
yeah, it all comes down to money.
Yeah, it does. One NBA player that is still a free agent that a lot of people are actually, or like that he's expressed interest in a lot of teams, but no teams are expressing a lot of interest in him is Dwight Howard. Like I remember, I saw a report
after Dwight Howard.
What?
Are you saying that the Celtics should go after Dwight Howard?
I'm not saying the Celtics should go after Dwight Howard.
Making that very clear.
I'm making that. Yeah, I'd rather have Robert Williams at this point than Dwight Howard. And with the Celtics, they're not like loaded at center, but they have a lot of centers. And I feel like with Cantor, Tice, Williams, Taco, Vincent Poirier, like they've got five.
Tickler, I heard someone call him.
What?
I heard someone call him the French Tickler. I think it was. So funny. I can't get that name in my head.
Oh my! But there's five guys who can play the center position, and then if you go small ball, I mean I don't really know what you'd rock with. I mean Cantor's undersized, so maybe he would just be the small ball center. But you have five dudes that can play center, and adding Dwight Howard just does absolutely nothing to help you.
No, he's a walking rebound, but we already have one of those, or the Celtics already have one of those in Cantor.
Yeah, so no need. And Dwight Howard with his injury history, like the last 3-4 years, and his
didn't he have an ass injury last year? And that's like the whole year.
Mm-hmm. Like, but we won't talk. We won't talk about what the supposed cause of. we will not discuss that. That's a topic.
He wants to go to either the Lakers or the Clippers.
And all the fans in the comments of all these tweets about that are like, "Nah, we closed, fam." I saw one. He was like, "Yeah, he's open to signing with the Lakers or the Clippers," and the top reply was like, "Nah, the Clippers are closed, bro."
Yeah, apparently the Clippers offered Marcus Morris more money than the who was it? than the Knicks and the Spurs did, and he still said, I'm going to go to the Knicks. I don't know why. Maybe so he can be a black hole on their offense instead of Kawhi.
Maybe he thinks being a number one option there and you can score a ton of points, get a bigger payday next year, because only a one-year deal. And I think the other two might have been multi-year offers. I don't know what his motive was. It's Marcus Morris. I don't really understand him 95% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But is there anything else in the NBA that we're missing?
Oh, could we do the top 8 seeds right now for each conference?
Oh yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
I wrote these down a while ago, and I've already had them, and I've talked about them a couple of times, but not on this. And also,
like in order, or just like top 8 teams in general.
I did 1 through 8, but you can just
Okay.
You don't necessarily have to rank them. I'll go first. It gives you guys time to write down.
Yeah.
Okay? So in the Eastern Conference, I have the Bucks as the 1 seed. I think that they should be the prohibitive favorite to reach the finals out of the East. I got the Celtics at 2 because Brad coaches his guys to go very hard in the regular season. They always show up, and I think that they dominate Philly historically, so they'll be able to take some of the head-to-head matchups, and that's the reason they're going to get the 2 seed. 3, I got Philly. Like I said, it's going to be very close between Philly and Boston. Al Horford's making it really hard for me to like him now because of all these videos that he keeps releasing about how it feels right to be in Philly, which is just complete bull. I don't like that. I like Al Horford. I don't like that. He's got to stop that. I get that he's trying to appeal to the Philly fans. Stop. They're a degenerate sports town. They don't deserve any happiness whatsoever. 4, Indiana. Oladipo comes back. They got Malcolm Brogdon, an underrated pickup, even though they did lose Bogdanovic. As long as they tread water throughout the first part of the year, once they get Oladipo back, they'll be just fine. 5, I got the Nets. I think Brooklyn's going to be the biggest soap opera in the league this year over the Lakers, mostly because of Kyrie Irving and only because of Kyrie Irving, but that young core is still going to be good enough to get them a couple of wins. 6, I got the Hawks. I am all in on the Hawks bandwagon this year. You got John Collins, Herter, Trae Young, and I think the 2 picks they got this year, DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish, all 5 of them are going to be a stacked starting 5, and it's going to be really interesting to watch. 7, I got the Raptors. They're going to go into full rebuild mode. They're going to trade either Kyle Lowry and or Marc Gasol for picks, and they're going to start their rebuild under Pascal Siakam, who they refused to trade. Otherwise, they would have gotten Russ, Paul George, and Kawhi back in Toronto. Could you imagine that trio north of the border? That would just be disgusting. And then 8, I got the Magic. I really like Vucevic. I think they re-signed Terrence Ross. They'll be fine. Closely missing out on the playoffs. I got the Heat and the Wizards because those two are just dysfunctional. Do you want me to go to the West?
Washington Wizards.
Do you guys need more time to think, or do you want me to go on to the West?
I have my East typed out.
Okay, you can go.
All
right, I'll share my East. And it's actually pretty similar to yours, Jeremy. I was typing it out, and I was like, I have the Pacers at 4. Let's hope he doesn't pick them. I'm like, damn it, he has the Pacers at 4. Right. But yeah, Bucks number 1. Like I said earlier, they're closest to a sure thing probably in the NBA of making the finals because the East, like you said, it's not as stacked as the West. It's still a competitive conference, but the Bucks are definitely the best on paper. Then I have the Celtics at 2. Brad gets more out of less. I think for some reason I feel like this Enes Kanter pickup's going to be really, really something special for a $5 million a year cap hit. Like maybe I'm not saying he's going to go for like 20 and 12 every night, but I feel like 17 or 16 and like 10 is not far fetched. Like I feel like it'll be a walking double this year. Philly, I have them at 3. I don't think they're going to be like really anything threatening. I like their Al Horford pickup. Obviously, I hate Al Horford now for the same reasons you do, Jeremy, but he's still a great player.
It's harder for me to like him.
I hate him.
Yeah.
But I feel like, with him, if he can stay healthy, then they might be able to usurp the Celtics and be second in the conference, but I don't see that happening. I could see him missing probably close to 30 games this year, and that would be a huge blow to the Sixers. 4, I have Indiana. They're a scrappy team. They're never going to be, unless they're full-on rebuilding, they probably will never be lower than 6, but they'll probably also never be higher than 4. But I have them at 4. I actually have the Heat at 5, and this is me also assuming they wind up with Chris Paul. But I think Jimmy Butler can really change the culture. I have the Heat at 5.
Wow.
I have the Heat at 5. They're my team that this year I feel like could really surprise some people. I don't know. I just feel like they're going to be really good. What?
I said you surprised me with that one. Holy crap.
They have the Nets at 6. I don't think Kyrie alone is good enough to put them in the top 5. I know they have Dinwiddie and all of them too, but I mean, let's face it. I don't think Kyrie with that he couldn't take this the last year Celtics team above the 4 seed. I don't think he can take this Nets team above the 6. 7, I have the Hawks too. I think this is going to be a good year for them. They'll be above 500. It won't be one of those years where like the bottom 3 playoff teams in the East are below 500. I think they'll be above 500 for the first time in a few years. Trae Young's going to take that next step. Kevin Huerter's an absolute flamethrower, not just his hair, but he's an absolute sniper from deep. I love him. And like you said, Reddish, he's gonna surprise some people. He won't be rookie of the year candidate, but I feel like a lot of people are kind of overlooking that draft selection. And then I have the Raptors at 8, and I think they'll probably be shopping some pieces at the deadline too. But I think they're good enough to at least sneak into the playoffs. And I have Detroit just missing, and that's really my one team I think is going to be pretty close, but kind of fall off at the end.
Jacqueline?
I forgot that there were 8, so I did 7, but then I just added 1 at the end. So my first 4 are literally the same. The Bucks at first, just because, like, I'm not going to repeat what you guys both just said. It's literally for the same reason. Then the Celtics at second, 76ers at third, even though the Sixers I still think will not beat the Celtics like at all this year. I don't think that they're a threat to the Celtics just because Celtics literally own the Sixers. The Pacers at 4. Now I have the Nets at 5 just because, I don't know, I feel like Kyrie's just going to do some weird juju and go off this season to like prove himself or whatever. And then they're going to collapse once KD comes back because I don't think that KD's going to be as good as everyone thinks that he is. So whatever, that's in 2 years. Then I have the Raptors. I don't know. I feel like they'll sneak their way up to the 6th. Then I have the Heat, and then the Hawks at 8. That's mine.
Okay. So I will say that, Jordan, that Heat thing at 5 is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I would not put the Heat at 5.
Hey, you gotta throw out a little bold one every once in a while. Like I think in my West Conference, I think one or two of my teams in there are gonna be like, what? But
okay, here we go. Western Conference.
On to the West.
I will lead. Don't worry. I got this.
Yeah, I still have a while.
The number 1 seed in the Western Conference by a healthy 5 games is going to be the Los Angeles Clippers. Kawhi Leonard will take 25 games off this year. Paul George is going to win the MVP. Mark it down. And this supporting cast that everyone likes to crap on for some odd reason, people are crapping on Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, Shamet, and these other guys, and I'm like, why? These guys are
really nasty.
I know. I love this. I love this supporting cast.
It's not like they have Danilo Gallinari still. Like, no, they're good.
Exactly. They'll be fine.
And Pat Bev too.
Yes. 2 seed. I got Utah. Utah's going to be the Denver of this year. I got Mike. They needed a point guard and a sharpshooter. They got Boyan and Mike Conley. That starting 5 with Mitchell, Ingles, the balding Joe Ingles at 29 or and the Stifle Tower is going to be absolutely friggin' filthy. 3, I got the second biggest soap opera in the league, the Los Angeles Lakers. Ryan Hollins apparently just said that the Lakers don't have a clear-cut leader, which is absolutely
oh my god.
Even more saying the Warriors would run circles around the 96 Bulls or whatever year that Jordan team was. Anyway, you got LeBron, AD, and a bunch of scrubs. I mean, Danny Green isn't a scrub, but you know what I mean. Like, they have zero depth whatsoever as far as I'm concerned.
If he can like be 80% of his former self, isn't not a scrub.
Who?
But that's also a big if. DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. You see how fat he looks? That dude is a locker room killer and a donut killer.
Big donut killer.
Yeah, big donut killer over there with DeMarcus Cousins. You got JaVale McGee back over there starting at center, so I like that. But that's about all I like on the Lakers. Everyone else can go pound sand and eat glass. 4 seed, I got the Blazers. They're always a good regular season team no matter what I feel about Damian Lillard. They'll be around, mostly because they'll probably be able to take advantage of the Clippers and the Lakers early in the year because they will be finding themselves. But the Clippers will find it figured out a lot faster than the Lakers will because they're the all-load management team. 5th, I got the Nuggets. Jokic and Murray are really good. Signing Murray to a contract extension now is really smart by Denver. And they'll be hanging around mostly because my friend's uncle is the head coach and Michael Malone knows what he's doing. 6th seed, I got the Warriors. No Clay for the entire year. And I think what they're trying to do, as I said, I think last episode, they're trying to go back to the 2015 Warriors. Build around your core, Steph, Clay, and Draymond, surround them with depth. I think that they're still trying to find a market for D'Angelo Russell, still trying to trade him for depth pieces so they can surround him with a guy like a Festus Ezeli used to be, or a Livingston or an Iguodala used to be. But they're trying to get younger, and that's what they're going to do, and they'll be fine. The problem is they won't be able to teams will be able to key in on Curry because Draymond still can't shoot a three to save his life.
Backpack boy.
Be able to shut him down a little bit more. And I don't know how D'Angelo Russell is going to fit with the Warriors. It just feels weird. 7th seed, I got the Rockets, and that's a very generous on my part, I think. I had them penciled in as the 7th seed before they traded for Westbrook, and I'm still going to keep them in the 7th seed with Westbrook. If anything, they can only suffer. Because like I said, who is going to handle the ball? How is Westbrook going to be able to fit into this offense that relies on the three? And I just don't see them. I think they were 1 and 2 in usage rate last year, Harden and Westbrook. So I don't see how that's going to work. And then finally, this was a toss-up for me because I have clear bias on one of these picks. I got the Mavs at 8 because I love Luka, and if Porzingis comes back healthy, that is going to be an absolutely disgusting duo. I just don't know if Porzingis can do it. But I like some of the moves Dallas has made, so I can't really crap on them. But if Dallas doesn't do well like they had the past couple of years, which is entirely likely, I know it's a homer pick that I'm picking Dallas, but the New Orleans Pelicans will make the playoffs. Zion only has to be all right. JJ Redick is a great shooter. Jackson Hayes looked really good, and you still have Drew Holiday there. Add him in with Lonzo, Ingram, and Hart. Whew, this Pelicans team is going to be good. David Griffin, hats off to you. A+ rebuild so far in New Orleans.
So should I go?
Yes.
All right. So my Western Conference, it's actually the first two are the exact same as Jeremy. I have the Clippers winning the conference. We both said earlier, Kawhi Leonard's probably the best player in the world at this point. And then you mix in Paul George. I don't know if I'm going to go as far as say Paul George will win MVP, but he'll be in the discussion again. I think he'll be a top 3 finalist for the second year in a row. But I mean that team's loaded, and people really do overlook their depth. Then I have also Utah at number 2. I mean Mike Conley. I loved him for years. I never wanted the Celtics to pick him up or anything, but I love Mike. I've always loved Mike Conley. I think he's one of the, even though he gets paid like that, he's like the highest paid point guard in the league, or was for a brief period of time. I still feel like he's one of the more overlooked players in the league. We never talk about him. And I actually have Houston finishing 3rd. For some reason, I just feel like it's just going to – I don't know. I just feel like it's going to work out for them. I really do. In the regular season, I feel like they're going to be able to absolutely manhandle some bad teams. And they'll be able to hang – I think they'll finish the top 3 seed in the West. 4, I have Portland. For the reasons you mentioned, as much of a no-show as Damian Lillard seems to be in big games, except for the big shot. He always seems to hit that, like the really big shot at the end. He always hits that, but for the entire game, leading up to that, he's not very good. But I feel like in the regular season, they're a top 4 seed in the West, and I have the Warriors at 5. I think, I mean, as much as I like to rag on Steph Curry for saying he needs an absurd amount of help to win, I still think he's too good with a pretty good Warriors team around him, even without Clay, for them to really fall off a cliff that much. I think 5 is an appropriate seeding for them. They have the Nuggets at 6. I mean, they're probably one of the league's most like interesting teams because really I could see them finishing anywhere between 2 and 6 because they could really surprise people again like they did last year, or they could not implode but really regress. But we'll obviously the jury's still on that. I have the Lakers at 7. Which is weird. I feel like it's weird with a LeBron and AD led team, and then like DeMarcus Cousins when he played with AD was an absolute freak. Now I know that was before the Achilles injury and then the quad injury, but I don't know. I feel like Boogie's going to be a much better version of himself than he was last year, and maybe the lack of a need for him to be a superstar is going to really help him. But I think he'll be a good pickup for them, but I don't see them really being that much of a threat in the West. And then I have New Orleans finishing 8th. I really am buying in on this team because they're, at least as a playoff team. Obviously, I'm not going to pick them to, win a round in the playoffs, but Zion, they'll be facing the Clippers. But with Zion, Lonzo, Ingram, Hart, and then Drew Holiday, if they keep him, they're going to be really good. Like they're going to surprise some teams, and they're going to be surprise some people, and they're going to be a really good team. And then I have the Mavs just missing, and I actually have Phoenix just missing as well. I have the Mavs losing by or missing by. When I say just missing, I mean like probably 4 games. So it's not like really. It's not like they're like right there, but it's like okay, they took a huge step forward, but they kind of just they're too young. But I have them finishing about 4 games out.
Really?
I like Phoenix.
Suns out, guns out.
Bang bang skeet skeet. No, they're I just like their team. I don't know. I feel like Ayton's going to take another huge step forward, and Devin Booker's going to be a really good player. Another really good year for him. So I don't know. Like I said, with these picks, you gotta have some surprises in there. Like the Heat being 5 was kind of just throwing shit at a wall and hoping it sticks. But I think the Suns are actually going to be a pretty good team. They competed a lot last year. And then, you add another year of all of these guys, or like another year of experience to all of these guys. I think they'll be a pretty good team.
All right, Jacqueline?
Okay. So I was the same with you guys, Clippers and Jazz as the top 2. Then I have the Lakers because I feel like they'll pull it together at some point, but I feel like they're going to collapse in the playoffs. That's my prediction for this team. Now, don't laugh at me, but I have the Pelicans as the 4 seed. I'm just really buying in to the Zion train. I don't know why I am. I just hope that he does well. I don't know. I just feel like he has a lot of expectations, and I really hope that he lives up to them. I don't know. He just seems like a good guy. I want well for him.
It would be better than Zion, so maybe I should.
Dikembe Mo Gumbo. You please, some of you guys saw that Twitter thread with all the players with food names.
No, I didn't.
You didn't see that? I gotta find it.
It's
okay.
Saying right there.
Well, I don't know. I just feel like that's just gonna be my wacky prediction. Is Pelicans at 4, and I have the Warriors at 5. I don't know. I feel like they'll still be a contender, just because Steph Curry's so good. He's so good. So, and then I have the Rockets. Hot Mess Express landing at number 6. Just because, that's what I'm going to call them all this year is the Hot Mess Express. And yeah, I don't know. They're going to be another team that measles their way into the playoffs and then collapses either first or second round. And then for 7, I didn't know whether to put the Blazers or the Nuggets. So either one of those teams I have a 7, but the other team is going to miss because the Mavericks I have an 8. So.
Okay, so we all hopped on the Mavs. I thought I was going to be different with that. Okay. Let's see.
I don't know.
No, it's fair. It's fair.
I throw it in. So that's mine.
I forgot.
Let's see how we save these and let's see how we do.
Oh, for sure. I've already written them down. I know them by heart because I've recited them 3 or 4 times.
Okay. Yeah, that was just on the fly, so I could be very wrong.
Should we do awards too?
Nah.
Awards?
No. We'll do that. We'll do that when we get on the show.
Oh, yeah. So I know this is kind of projecting into the future, but I think what we should do for our show when we get back to school, all of us should write down before each start of every season 10 things, 10 hot takes, or relatively cold take, depending on what you do. We throw them on a Google Doc, and we look at them after the season and see how many we got right.
That sounds fair.
All right.
Jeremy's going to go 9 for 10 in each sport because for some reason when he just throws shit at the wall, it sticks.
I feel like sometimes my reputation as a good take maker has gotten kind of skewed because I keep harping on the ones that I've gotten right. So I actually kind of want to see how real that is if I make 10 takes about the NFL and see what happens. Because let's face it, Bengals make the playoffs. Bengals win the division. It was a take last year,
but it looked good for a bit. And then they did the Bengals thing.
Where they be the Bengals and not be a playoff team.
They did the Bengals.
And just be bad.
Yeah.
Be worse than the Browns.
Well, it wasn't that much of a disgrace last year. It's not like they were.
True. I know, but it's still the Browns still had their reputation as the Browns last year. This year, they actually have expectations, which is so different. So, no, I'm excited for football season. Mostly because that's my favorite sport. But you know what? It's fine.
I'm reading all the replies to the Dikembe Mo Gumbo tweet. We got Beignet Simmons, Caramello Anthony.
Russell Westbrook could make a clone of himself. Paul George and Russell Westbrook play 2-on-2 against James Harden and Westbrook. Who wins?
Sorry?
Let's pretend Russell Westbrook can make a clone of himself. Paul George and Westbrook play a 2-on-2 against James Harden and Westbrook. Who wins?
Paul George and Westbrook.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly what I would say, because Harden couldn't pass.
Yeah, Harden wouldn't pass. He'd be doing. Although if Harden's hot, there's no chance that the Paul George and Russell Westbrook are even seeing the basketball. But anything else on the NBA before we move on?
Nah.
No.
All right. So shifting
Wait,
gears-
hold on. I just saw one that's like Giannis and then we ate gumbo. Wait, did you see that the Bucks signed Giannis's like little brother or something?
Big brother, I think.
Big brother?
Yeah.
Brother. Whether it be little or big. Both of them are on it now. So
Antonio McDouble?
okay, anyways.
Shaquille O'Neal. These are great.
Hakeem Olajuwon. Awesome.
Big Mac Biombo. These are fantastic. Derek Flavors. Oh man. Gotta love when food is put into everything. But yeah, moving on to the United
Bengals' old lineman just retired.
What?
A Bengals old lineman just retired.
Oh really?
That's just tough. It just when it rains, it pours in Cincinnati.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, move on. I gotta stop looking at this food thread. I haven't eaten since 2 o'clock yesterday. I'm so hungry right now.
Why haven't you eaten?
So I
Stupid.
closed yesterday at Kohl's, so I didn't eat dinner, and I got back, and then for some stupid reason, I decided, heck, let's stay up for the Red Sox game. So I ended up at like 1. So I was hungry when I went to bed, and I woke at like 10ish, and I had to drop my brother off somewhere. I went shopping, and then got this sweatshirt, and then came back to that Kohl's cash.
Nice.
And then I immediately went to
Cold cash.
So that's how my day's gone so far.
Nice.
Lovely. So moving on to a little bit of U.S. related news. The United States women's national soccer team winds up winning the gold medal.
Woo.
And for some reason, like I don't understand why, but like all this controversy that's coming around with all their celebrations and whatnot, like I don't know.
It's literally, and I'm not trying to say this to be like that person, but it's literally because they're women that this is like happening. Again, I'm not trying to be that person saying it, but it's true. Like I've seen so many tweets like criticizing all of their celebrations, especially after they won, like in the locker room. There's like a video of like Alex Morgan like twerking or something, or like, and like just all of these like they're just celebrating, and literally all of these things happen in a men's locker room too. And I don't understand what the difference is, because like that people were saying that they looked so trashy doing it, and like they like should what's it called, like represent the country better. But like I bet you that if you played like the Red Sox celebration and the U.S. women's national team celebration like side by side, you would not see very many differences.
I mean, Rick Porcello jumped into a tub of beer, but
exactly. Like, it's literally just because they're women, and people are saying like, oh no, well they're representing the United States. Well, so technically, so are like the team that wins the World Series, because like they're like the team that represent the world technically, whatever. And it's like the same thing. So I don't understand why they're getting so much hate, and it's really pissing me off.
Okay, so in terms of the hate from the U.S. fans, I don't understand that, but I will say in terms of like Europe and stuff, Europe has dominated soccer for so long, especially in the men's leagues.
Not in women's though.
They are clearly butthurt that the U.S. women can absolutely destroy everything that they hold dear, because soccer is supposed to be their main sport. Like, let's face it.
Yeah.
Europe is irrelevant when it comes to any other sport except for soccer. And even then, in the men's league, I think Brazil's won the most World Cups. So, like, I think, first of all, if you're going to be butthurt about this, if you're Europe, especially, I think it was Piers Morgan that was the worst one about this.
Yeah, he was.
If
He's
you're
still
going
complaining about it.
Celebration, especially with like a teacup thing, then don't let her score. Seriously, that's the first thing. Don't let them win. Then you can start talking. I am a big fan of, if you're going to talk and like chirp and make predictions, back it up. And that's exactly what this team did. Jaylen Brown couldn't do that for the Celtics this year. I wish dearly that he could have. And the entire Celtics team could have done that, but they couldn't. And this women's team did. I think I watched a combined 15 minutes of the entire World Cup up until the final match because I was either working or I was at a restaurant or something like that, so I could look at it a little bit. The only part that I saw was the last 10 minutes against France when Nick made a great save on a PK, and then I watched almost the entire final. And that's all I needed to see because the team was dominant. And I think that part of the reason that they are is that regardless of what people may think about how do I put this politically correct so I don't piss anybody off? Regardless of what people may think about the injustices that are done to women in this country, which are there, it does happen. But compared to other parts of the world, the women in the U.S. have been giving a tremendous advantage, especially in sports. And it has shown on the world stage. And that is what this
mostly in soccer though, because for my comparison is that like
in hockey
in hockey. But like
Canada's there.
For me, like
like
soccer is like when you're growing up, like you're like put into soccer. Like a lot of kids are like put into football. Like soccer is like that big sport that like you can really make it in like the further stages. Because if you think about all like women's sports, there's soccer, which you can compete at like a national level. There's basketball, which you can compete at a national level, but not as far because there's not really. I mean, there's an Olympic team,
softball,
I assume.
Too, but
softball, but softball, there's no like national softball league or like at least one that people follow. At least some people follow the WNBA and like people follow like the U.S. women's national team and some of their teams that like the Courage or like wow, that's really bad that I can't name any other. And like the NWSL, like people do follow those teams. So it's like, but those are really the only two sports for women. Maybe like track and field, but again, there's no like, besides like the Olympic team and gymnastics. Like those are kind of like the three big sports for girls. And if you're not tiny, if you're not like under 5 feet tall, you can't really compete in gymnastics. And like, if you're not over 6 feet tall, you can't really compete in basketball. So soccer is kind of like the one sport for girls to be like, okay, I can be really good at this. I can get a scholarship for this and I can play this after college. So that's why I think that it's so good. It's like if I'm trying to think of like another world sport. I guess like baseball, you could say like because it's mostly
World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, exactly. But like, that's like a sport for like guys where you can be like, okay, like you can compete at this through college and beyond, I guess.
I think that
like worldly.
When you compare the men's and the women's team and people ask why the men's team sucks compared to the women, I can't talk today. Europe has about 100 years head start compared to the men in soccer. Meanwhile, with the women's team, I think they all started relatively the same. In the U.S.,
well, it's so the FIFA World Cup only started in like the 80s for the women, whereas it started in like the 1930s for the men. And in like, I think it was like 1938. And 1938 was the last time that the men's team won the FIFA World Cup. They won it the first year and then
they won it. I think they placed third.
I'm almost positive it was like the first year of the World Cup, the US men's team won it. And then every other year they like have sucked.
Oh no, totally. They have absolutely.
I don't know. Hold on.
Yeah, definitely.
I wrote this article about it, so I was.
Okay.
So this is it. So the men have been competing in the FIFA Men's World Cup since 1930, and the last time that they medaled in the tournament was 1930.
Yeah.
They suck.
They suck.
So they've been competing since the beginning, and so have the women. So it's like
soccer's not necessarily a big draw in the U.S. for anybody. Either men or women, let's face it, like
because they're
it's not demographic. In terms of numbers, pure numbers, soccer's not the biggest thing in the U.S.
It's because soccer is played in the same season as football, and most kids or boys, I should say, would go into football. Whereas for girls, soccer is like the big fall sport that you play when you're a kid.
Football is definitely more interesting than soccer for me, regardless of who's playing it.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like that's probably one of the main reasons why the women's team is so much better is because there's more of a draw to it for girls like I played soccer. I was bad at it, but I still played. It's like that thing that like your parents sign you up for because you have too much energy. You just sign up to play soccer and you kick a ball around a field and do cartwheels and pick dandelions when you're playing defense and the ball's on the other side. You know what I mean? So it's like that was literally me. So,
there's another one over there.
Yeah, that's cartwheel to it.
Little Jacqueline going on.
I was actually no. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty good at soccer until I was in like 3rd grade, and then because I was one of those people who got like good at it before other people got good at it, and then like once people like caught up to it, it's like when you have like a growth spurt when you're young, and you're like, oh, I'm the tallest one in the class, and then like everyone else grows.
That was never me.
That was never me either, but like that's the analogy that I will make for me with soccer. And then I got hit in the face with a soccer ball, and I was really good at goalie. Like that was like position I really liked. And then I got hit in the face, and then I was never the same.
You became a Sid.
Who knows? I could be a collegiate soccer player.
I had to step away from the game I loved. It's for the good. No. But Jacqueline, don't worry. It was for the good of other people. It let other people score. You were doing too much.
Exactly. Yeah. I was doing way too much. So no, but I got hit in the face with the soccer ball at recess, and then I didn't like playing soccer anymore.
Okay.
So, anyways,
man.
After that sob story, pay the damn team. Let's move on.
I'm happy that New York got to host the parade because they're not going to be hosting any parades in the near future.
No.
I almost went to it actually, but then I woke up too late. So unfortunate.
That's a big Jordan move.
Hate that for me.
Just waking up too late.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to a topic that we all love so much, which is the Boston Red Sox.
Oh
I don't even want to talk about them. I'm so mad at them from last night. Alex Cora, he's really pissing me off recently. Like, really pissing me off recently.
Recently, it's been the whole entire season.
Okay, but specifically last night, because, Jackie Bradley Jr., it's a leadoff double. In, what was that? Was it the 11th or the 12th? I think it was the 11th.
It was the 11th.
Then Hernandez comes up. He bunted already. Have him bunt. Have him move. And then Mookie Betts' fly out would have been the winning run.
Oh, forget that. Why the frick did he run? I don't know if that's on him or the third base coach. It's just their philosophy.
No, that's on JBJ.
Stupid. Yeah. Oh, my
God. So stupid.
That was
why?
The bunch.
It landed in front of him. In front of him. Why would you run when the ball lands in front of you? That's like basic base running. Even I know that, and I only played instructional softball.
No, exactly. You're taught when you go when you're on second or third, if the ball's hit to the left side of the infield, you don't go. You watch. You have to look. Because otherwise, guess what? What happened?
You're out.
It will happen again.
Also, can we talk about the incompetence of the third base coach? Like on both sides.
Yeah.
Because
no, I mean the play that you're talking about on the Dodgers side, Benintendi has an absolute noodle for an arm. I know it's Fenway Park, and he actually was like one of the top assist getters in the outfield last year in the MLB. But like Benintendi's got a noodle for an arm. I was genuinely shocked they threw him out at the plate. But the Devers send by
why would you send him? He's so slow. Like I love him, but he's so slow.
He's actually dropped a couple of pounds. But
it's not even that. Not even that. But he's at third base as Verdugo's fielding the ball in left field. Like that's also that's baseball coaching 101. So like basically, in order to send a guy, he's already got to be rounding third by the time the guy's picking the ball up. He hadn't even gotten to third base yet. That was absolutely ridiculous. The Red Sox that move like basically reeked of desperation. Yeah. And then back to Alex Cora, way before even the not bunting Hernandez late in the game after he did the first time. But why is Eduardo Nunez still playing?
Good freaking question.
Like, in all seriousness, like, and this isn't me just hating on Eduardo Nunez.
Oh, can I hate on Eduardo Nunez then?
Yeah, I'll let you do it. But
stumbling, bumbling, rumbling, tumbling, Eduardo Nunez friggin' jumps out there every fourth day, and you go, "Oh, how's he gonna trip today? Is he gonna fall off the dugout steps because he didn't forgot to tie his shoelaces? Or are you gonna come out and like slides instead of cleats one time? Like, come on!"
Yeah, but I'm not just saying this to hate on him, but I would rather watch the pitcher hit than Eduardo Nunez.
Nah, you kind of for that one, but I appreciate it.
No. Have you seen the
He's
at-bats
so
that dude
bad.
has? The at-bats
They're
that dude
so
has.
bad.
And I don't want to hate Eduardo Nunez because I look at how great he was in 2017 when he got traded here. And then, like, the knee injury really screwed him up all of last year. Like, I firmly believe he was bad last year because of his knee. It wasn't 100%. But then they come into this year and they're like, oh, Eduardo Nunez's knee's finally 100%. He's going to be back to the 2017 version. Like, maybe not the Red Sox one, but the Giants one, who's still a really good hitter. No. Dog shit. Dog shit. And then on top of him being dog shit, why is Hector Velasquez still here? I know it's a
Good
question. And I didn't know this at the time. That was his third day in a row working, so I don't blame him for giving up that run there. But
hey, he sucked the other 2 days.
No. But this is the greater point here. Why is Alex Cora using him 3 days in a row? If you really want to use him, you use him once every fifth day, or in the starting capacity, so you wouldn't have had to trade for Cashner, or maybe send him down to AAA, because apparently also Brian Hollins on First Take, I'm just seeing his tweet now, said Giannis should go down to the G League.
What? What?
I really want to know the context of that. Oh, that'd be so funny if he actually said
So
that.
you learn how to shoot threes? It's probably his stupid ass argument.
So, because Stephen A tweeted that he was on vacation and Max will hold it down for the week, and one of the replies is like me seeing Ryan Hollins hosting with Max, and it's the clip of Stephen A going, "I'm so sick of these people." Oh, so funny.
Oh man, I love it.
Okay. Back to the dumpster fire.
But yeah, basically, what I'm learning about Alex Cora this year is that he's got the John Farrell syndrome, where they won the World Series the first year he was there, and then after that, it just absolutely sucks.
They get complacent.
It's like I don't want to say everybody, because Bogarts has been fantastic, Devers has been fantastic, and I thought Devers had one of the more impressive 1-for-5s I've ever seen last night, because he had 2 absolute missiles, and one of them that should have won the game, but Verdugo had a fantastic, it was like positioned perfectly, and went right to it, but 2 missiles that got fielded.
I feel like JBJ has been having like a pretty. I mean, since what was it, May?
He's been great.
Date in May, he's been hitting like over 300.
Yeah, he's
so
been
like,
great.
and he's definitely been improving. So I feel like he's like one of those other like players you can lump in to like having like being good, like actually being fun to watch at least. No one else is fun.
But Mookie Betts
Literally,
turning around at least.
No,
he was 2 for 5 last night. He hit really well to end the first half. He's been a lot better as of late. His average is up near, I think, 280 again, so that's good. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you there. But
I'm so sick of him. I really am. This dude, he doesn't translate to wins, which is really sad. He can't be a star on a team. I don't think. At this point, you've had enough time to watch him, honestly. How long has it been? At least 4 years now?
He got called up for the first time in 2014, so.
But him being like an everyday regular.
Yeah, about 5 years.
Yeah. Okay, fine. 5 years. You've had 5 years to watch this guy. What makes you think he can be the face of a franchise consistently? Because it's
nothing. He's a nothing.
It's just, it's really sad that I'm saying that, and I don't know why that I've never liked him, but I've always liked Bogarts better, and thank God, because I'm very happy I threw my lot in with him. He's having a great year. And
Bogarts at $20 million has been an absolute steal so far. I mean, that extension hasn't kicked in yet. That doesn't start till next year, but if you're going to get that kind of production from him, I mean, he's already, what was his career high for home runs? I think it was like 22 in 2016. He's already got 20, and it's still July. Like, he might hit 30, 35 this year. Like, and that's realistic. And then Devers has been fantastic. Now, I know he's still on his, like, first contract, but, like, you got guys on this team that are really performing well, and JD is still hitting around 300. He's got 20-ish home runs. He's got 19 now. Vasquez has been unbelievable this year.
Woo!
Yet they're 10 back of first. They're 4 back of the second wild card spot. And instead of really doing anything to kind of like help this team, they go out and they acquire Andrew Cashner.
Now granted, it was for nothing, so I can't be too mad about that.
Yeah, it was for nothing. He's having a good year. But like, I honestly would have preferred Zach Wheeler. Now I know he would have cost more, but he's a better pitcher. And this team really shouldn't go for cost-efficient deals for okay players. Now, I know Cashner's supposed to be the 5-starter and just be better than Hector Velasquez and Brian Johnson or Ryan Weber or whoever. but Zach Wheeler's a much better pitcher, and I actually did like all the math and like averaged out innings per start, and Zach Wheeler would be the only one on the Red Sox that pitches 6 innings to start. Yes, I am a nerd. Thank you. Appreciate that.
So am I. I'm playing a video game right now. We're doing it, so.
But I don't know what the next step is for this team. They, according to Dave Dombrowski, they're probably going to stand pat after trading for Andrew Cashner. I don't know why, but
you can't say with a straight face that they're going to win any sort of thing without getting a reliever.
Yeah, I mean,
they might just like one competent, semi-competent reliever.
The thing that sucks about this bullpen the most is like on the nights that they do really well. Like last night, up until Velasquez went
they did it really well.
Lights out.
Yeah, so good.
From the time Price came out after 5 innings, Colton Brewer had a shutout inning. Josh Taylor did really well. Matt Barnes did really well, surprisingly, in extras. Yeah. He faced Cody Bellinger with like winning with a go-ahead run at first base and actually did really well against him. Who else am I missing? Ryan Brazier had a clean inning. Yeah. Brandon Workman struck out the side.
He was really good.
Yeah, Workman.
Brandon Workman's been the best reliever on this team.
He's elite.
I didn't know.
I would put him in that category. At least considering how he's been this year, I'd put him in an elite category. Like he's not like if there's like, sorry, he wouldn't be elite, but he'd be probably about the tier below it, like right below it, like bubble.
Semi-elite.
Yeah, he's like half elite.
On the way to being fully elite.
Yeah, he's like 40% elite.
50%. Maybe like 52%.
52% after last night. 52%.
After last night, before he was like 48%. Now he's 52%.
Yeah, and then he struck out the side, including Justin Turner. So now he's 52% elite.
That hurt. That one hurt for me. I love.
Got him looking too.
Huh? Yeah. No, he buckled his knees so hard with that one. That curveball there. Whew.
Yeah, and I think last year, because I remember we did our report, our note, our grades for everyone on the team last year, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I think we both put Brandon Workman as like the incomplete category. Like we liked him, but we didn't see enough of him. And now this year you're getting a healthy dose of him, and he's been fantastic. 52% elite to be exact. Yeah, he's been great. I love him. But like last night, the bullpen wasn't an issue until Velasquez came in. But you had.
But then it's the 12th inning. What did you really expect? You should have stood by that. That's not his fault. I won't refuse to put that on him. It's
yeah, you had the go ahead run on base in the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th inning.
What do you want? Seriously, what do you want from what else do you want from Velasquez? That's
like
he's not. It's not like this is an aberration that he's like just started sucking this year. He's a perpetual bag of suck. Why is he not gotten any better?
Yeah, I don't put the loss on Velasquez. It's partially his fault, but also like it's mostly the lineup's fault.
Yeah.
It is the lineup's fault. And Price's fault.
The Price only going 5 sucked, but the first inning was actually no, I wouldn't even say it's Price's fault. The first inning gave up 3 unearned runs because a walk, mind you, I looked at the pitch tracker, to see the location, because I was like, all of these pitches look pretty damn close. The first pitch of the game was perfectly in the zone, called a ball. The 2-2 pitch, perfectly in the zone, called a ball. 3-2 pitch, perfectly in the zone, called a ball. And then after that, it was an error by Bogarts. And then you got 2 outs. And then the dinkiest of dinky home runs I've ever seen by A.J. Pollock.
Yeah.
And it was 3-0. No earned runs, though. He gave up 1 earned run on a single by A.J. Pollock in the 5th. I thought Price gutted.
Wait, how is that home run not an earned run?
Because the inning should have been over.
Okay.
But yeah.
Do they buy? Sorry, let me rephrase that. Do you think they will sell or they will buy?
I don't think they'll do either.
They're standing pat, and I don't consider trading for Andrew Cashner a buy. I think it's more of a if he was a free, it's kind of like this dude's a guy.
It's really just a placeholder to remind fans that the Red Sox are still breathing.
Yeah, it's like hey guys, I'm watching the game. No, you're not, Dave. No, you're not.
I'm interested to see if Eovaldi will have any impact on the relievers at all.
Let me put it this way. At this point, it can't hurt.
No.
Yeah.
Because you take the workload off of either Barnes or Workman, which you desperately need to do.
Yeah, I would say more so on Workman because they've really been doing a good job of not using Barnes every single night this month, and he hasn't allowed a run in July yet. So knock on wood. I think he's pitched 5 innings this month, which is honestly It's not a lot, but he's been a lot better.
That's
And
what
that's
he
kind of
should be doing if he got that much of a workload early on.
yeah. I'm just saying, like they've spread him out a bit, so now I feel like if we get into like August and September, you can use him a little bit more, and he'll be fine. But you can't use him 16 times in a month. I mean, I don't think you can expect anybody to pitch 16 times in a month and do well. It's not really fair to them, especially one that's not an elite pitcher to begin with. But yeah, Evaldi, I wanted him to be the closer. I think I said that back in November when they re-signed him. But I don't know. I would, if I were David Dombrowski, I'd sell, but he's not going to. That's not the nature of his being.
Yep. Unless it's after the year.
Yeah, he might sell pieces in the offseason, but I think so. My opinion is these next 2 weeks are basically what tell me what they're going to do with Mookie Betts. If they don't trade him at the deadline this year, he's going to play out next year. Like, I don't think you trade him at all if you don't trade him at the deadline this year, and you use him as a rental in 2020, and see where it goes.
All right, I'm done with talking about the Sox. I'm going to be honest. We may as well just hit the final stuff because there's nothing to talk about the Sox until they actually prove to me that they can be consistent.
The Sox? Is that what you're calling them?
Oh,
The Boston,
the Sox. I like that.
The Boston
The
Red
Boston-
Sox.
the Boston Dead Sox, the Boston Red Sox, whatever you want to call them. They're terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jacqueline.
It's the final 15. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. That's it.
Okay.
Short one this time.
What is the topic?
I got more
of a-
questions.
Oh, okay. I was like, do we even have a topic? Like,
Yeah, we got
Okay.
these questions down.
All right, you
take
ready?
it away, Jeremy.
You could party with one sports team in history. Which team is it?
You can party with?
Yes. One sports team in history.
Like a year in a team, or just like a team?
A year.
A year in a team. Okay. Let's think for a second.
Okay, I know this is probably recency bias, but the 2018 Boston Red Sox seemed so fun. So, or the Houston Astros last year too, because both of those teams seemed wicked fun. Or the Astros this year, to be completely honest.
Josh Reddick in his USA Red, White, and Blue Speedo. I don't know. Let me think for a second. I feel like the 2013 Red Sox team would have been a lot more fun to party with because they had Johnny Gomes, Mike Napoli.
Oh, true.
The party at Napoli's thing started in 2013 where you just walked down Boylston shirtless after winning the World Series. I think the 2013 team would have been a lot more fun, but I don't know. I'd have to do more thinking about the rest of the league. But what would you pick, Jeremy?
The 2017 Capitals. Are you kidding?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That would have been a lot of fun.
He's swimming with dolphins. Y'all are sleeping on the 2017 Capitals. Clearly the one that I would rather go with. All right,
Okay.
next question.
I forgot about them.
How about the 2008 Celtics? Because they're still partying about that finals. They're still doing it.
Who would win in a street fight? AI or Yao Ming?
AI.
Jacqueline?
Yeah.
I'd pick
I
AI.
think Yao would have the reach on him. He could just kick him right out of the way.
I don't know.
Sasquatch beat these guys.
Nah, dude. Yao Ming's got some bad knees, and I feel like AI is the kind of dude who pull out some weird shit that you've never seen before in a fight.
That's a good point.
Murk him.
Would you rather be a magician or a clown?
A magician.
Magician.
I'm the guy who does card tricks, so yeah, this is pretty obvious for me. If you could pick one pro athlete to be your college roommate, who would you pick?
Gronk. Does he count still?
Yeah, sure.
Gronk.
I feel like I have to pick a female athlete.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. Just
You can pick whoever you want.
Emerson wouldn't allow this.
Pro athlete.
No, Emerson would allow it.
You rooming with a dude?
Yeah.
It would?
Yeah. One of
Yeah.
my friends next year is rooming with a guy.
Interesting.
Wait, you? Okay, never mind.
Not me.
Yeah, okay. I couldn't figure out if you said yes to are you doing it or is someone doing
No, one of my friends is.
it. Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me think about this.
I didn't think about this question. I should have.
Okay, this is very random, but I feel like Adam Rippon. Do you guys know who that is? He's a figure skater.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think that he's so funny, so I feel like he'd be really fun to room with.
I did not think this question through. I feel like I'd like to see. So this is kind of a sneaky answer, but if Kawhi Leonard was my roommate, then I could become friends with him and get all the inside details, and people will be coming to me for all of the sources regarding Kawhi Leonard. I feel like that'd be fun.
Especially that Aria Abraham dude.
Yes. All right.
He'd be outside your room at all times.
You're a ghost. Which one person would you haunt?
Sam.
You can only haunt one person.
Sam.
Hesitate anymore. See, I'm gonna take Sam, but I can't. I'm really torn on who it would be.
I just think it'd be funny.
Who do I hate?
I just think it'd be
The only problem is, Jordan, we've seen him when he's like broken down, and I don't know if I'd like to see that.
Well, I can just leave when that happens. I'm a ghost. Remember, I'm a ghost.
That's a good
Just walk through the wall.
Like,
point.
Goodbye.
Jacqueline, who would you like to haunt?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I feel like it'd be funny to like haunt one of my friends, just because they would be like so
You
freaked
went
out.
nice route.
No, but I feel like it would be like funny because they'd be so freaked out, and I'd just be like, "Guys, it's just me." Like,
Bro, it's just a prank.
bro, it's just a prank. It's just a prank.
Okay. Would you rather, for the rest of your life, vomit every time someone says McDonald's, or wear a fedora for the rest of your life? And if you were asked about it, you have to respond with, "I just like the way it looks."
Fedora.
I'd probably vomit every time somebody says McDonald's.
I would absolutely vomit every time someone says McDonald's. Because that doesn't mean that I can't eat it. I just wouldn't say it. And I could keep my hands.
Yeah, I don't want. You'll never catch me dead in a fedora. Absolutely
You
not.
might be able to catch me dead in a fedora, but there would have to be some extreme money changing hands in order for me to do it. Would you rather get a penny for every time you breathe or 10 cents for every time you blink?
10 cents every time you blink. Are you kidding me?
Penny every time I breathe.
Okay, so I would also go breathe for the simple fact that I notice whenever I'm doing anything electronic, I don't blink that much.
Oh, wait, no, because you don't blink while you're asleep, but you do breathe while you're asleep.
Yes, but it's slower breathing, so it's not like you're breathing that hard.
I know, but you don't blink at all.
Yeah, but that's 8.
That's like eight.
Eight.
What if your eyelids just go like, they flutter because like you're having a dream or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, but that's not blinking.
Yeah, I guess.
That's fluttering.
There's a difference.
Idiot.
Whoa!
Sorry.
There's like a difference between Gabe dribbling between his legs and fiddling before shooting at three. It's not the same thing.
Yeah,
Can't
it's.
do it once, so.
I would probably have a penny every time I breathe, just because you breathe more than you blink.
Okay, one celebrity that could be one celebrity at your funeral. Jeez, I can't talk today.
Julian Edelman.
Julian Edelman. That was.
Yeah, because then he'd be my husband.
Oh, okay. I see.
Oh, okay.
That's why he'd be attending my funeral.
Interesting. One celebrity that can attend my funeral. Nah. I was gonna say Scarlett Johansson, but that's no.
Or Ben Platt, because I would like him to sing at my funeral, because he has a beautiful voice.
Perfect. Yeah,
What?
Jacqueline.
What'd you say?
See the guy that was in Pitch Perfect?
Yeah, he was the magician. I love him.
I have seen all 3 of those movies.
I actually haven't seen the third one yet because he's not in it, so I don't care.
That's not great.
I haven't seen the third one either.
I feel like they kind of like drew it out too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, they killed it. The best one, in my opinion, was 2 with the singing down in like a bar when they had the Packers come in. That was the best scene.
Oh yeah, that one was funny.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I don't know. I feel like the original one is just so iconic that they shouldn't have made a sequel to it.
Mm.
Because like when you think of Pitch Perfect, you're like, oh yeah, like the first movie, and then you're like, oh wait, there was a second movie and third movie.
And they did the cup thing, which I know how to do too. Jacqueline started doing it. In terms of the one celebrity at my funeral, is it a cheap thing to say that I would take whoever is the active president, because then they would cover it, and then I get like on all the national media, be like, yes, they're covering this guy's funeral. Who is this schmuck? Yeah.
That'd actually be funny.
Fair enough. I'd probably pick David Ortiz, actually.
Mm-hmm. All right. Would you rather go to jail for 1 year, or you go to jail with a Rubik's Cube and you can leave whenever you finish it?
Go through
year.
Rubik's Cube.
A year.
Jacqueline, you may never solve the Rubik's Cube. You
No,
realize
there's like some. So what you would have to do, see, is
you don't get internet privileges.
No, but okay, but if you were going to jail on the stipulation that you could finish the Rubik's Cube, you know that you're gonna have to finish the Rubik's Cube in order to get out of jail. So what you do is you look up the cheats because there's a certain way that you move it where they all do
Here's
it.
what I'll say to that. You're at the sentencing hearing, and they give you the option right then and there, and you get led away to jail from there. So you're going to jail no matter what. You're not going to be able to access anything to be able to get you the cheat. Do you go to jail for a year, guaranteed 1 year, or you get to leave when you finish your Rubik's Cube? I would take the jail for a year because I do not know how to solve a Rubik's Cube.
No, I would.
Every day.
Because all you would do is try to figure out how to solve the Rubik's Cube. And I bet you that you wouldn't be like in solitary confinement. So you would be able to talk to other people in the jail. And they're
because Jacqueline, that's what prisoners do. They're focusing on their Rubik's Cubes, their card houses, and playing
no. But I bet you that someone in that jail knows how to do a Rubik's Cube, especially because
I would take that bet. No
yeah,
one.
I bet you, because you know what? I've been watching a lot of documentaries about prisons recently, and they're usually in like little. Don't ask me why. It's just very intriguing to me. What?
Trying to figure out how to break someone out.
Yeah. No. But they live in like little communities, and like while some of the people in those communities are assholes, I bet you that there are others, because you make friends in jail. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but
someone would help you. Yeah, maybe in men's prison. Not in women's prison.
No one in a men's prison would know how to solve a freaking Rubik's.
Exactly, but I bet you people in a women's prison would. That's why I would do that.
Are other people in the jail also only there until they can solve a Rubik's Cube? Because then maybe you guys can work together.
You're the only one.
Exactly. You're the only one.
You're the only one. It's only for you.
I still bet you that I could solve a Rubik's Cube like in a year, because that's the only thing that I would be doing.
I would rather just be there for a year.
Wait, but do you get time off for good behavior?
No.
No.
You have to stay for a year.
Okay, but usually like when they like sentence someone to like 7 years, like they're like, oh, you can get off in 5
No
years.
possibility of parole. You spend a year and you go.
What crime did I commit?
Yeah.
Reach across the field at Fenway.
That wouldn't be a year in prison. Are you kidding me?
It'd be like 30 days. You just would be banned. Okay, so 60 days. I was able to make it all the way across the field once before they caught me, and then I jumped off and ran back across.
You can push your belly button once a day and it can do anything. What does it do?
I could push my belly button?
Yeah, just like push.
Okay. It could do anything.
It dispenses me $1,000.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah. It would definitely.
Yeah, me and you are right on.
It would definitely.
I was like, what could be like a nice thing that my belly button could do for me? And it's
funny.
Yeah, definitely supply me with money.
Yeah.
Because there was some dude that was answering these, and this is how we get all the questions. So they like hire comedians to answer these questions, and he goes, "Oh, this is clearly the most obvious answer. You push in, it goes out." What a phenomenal answer! I'm not gonna say this.
That's awesome.
All right. If you could live anybody's life with anyone's body, who would it be?
Live anybody's life with anyone's body? Wait, so like your own life, but with someone else's body?
No. I feel like, okay, so we could take this in one of two ways. You could live somebody else's life with a different person's body, or you could only live one person's life with their body. I'd prefer the second one, because that way it's only one person. You have to think of two people. It's a lot easier to think about.
I would probably do one of the fitness people I follow on Instagram, because one, they're jacked, and two, they work out for a living. So it's literally like, that's all you do. Like, you don't do anything else besides that.
Trying to think of like a really fat actor. Trying to think of a fat actor.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going. No, I'd love to get like, Ice Cube or like DJ Khaled, who don't have to do anything. They're fat and they still get a ton of like fame and success and stuff.
Yeah, I guess
there's no work involved.
Wait, no, I'd probably be like some actress, because they have their own like personal trainers, so their like bodies are perfect.
Or they can pay for like liposuctions or something, so you don't have to work out. Again,
that's true.
Less exercise. Let's exercise, more chicken wings.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously.
Would you rather have two average kids, or one kid is a pro athlete and the other is illiterate?
Illiterate?
Yes.
Yeah, but you don't know what the job of the other person. Maybe one is a pro athlete, but the other one's even though the other one's illiterate, he does something like with the athlete.
Okay, so that's exactly the lines along which I was going, because it's kind of twisted to say this, but I would rather have the second one, the pro athlete, than the thing, because it would give the pro athlete a leg up because you can say this inspiring story of his family,
exactly.
and the pro athlete will make enough money to help support the illiterate kid.
I know, but like
The illiterate kid
you don't know like why he's illiterate or she is illiterate. So like maybe they're illiterate just because they're stupid. And like, but they can still basically just function. You know what I mean? So like, they can still hold their own job, and they're probably happy with like what they're doing in their life. Plus, they can just go and like watch their sibling be a pro athlete.
Maybe they're a garbage dude. You don't know.
Maybe, and they could be so happy with that.
Yes.
You never know.
Jordan, would you rather
I just want my kids to be happy.
I'd rather have the pro athlete and the illiterate. Kind of on the same principle that you guys would.
$100,000 to put your baby in a microwave. Do you do it for 3 seconds?
Wait, hold on. Let me get some clarification here.
Okay.
Do I have to put my child in the microwave and then turn the microwave on for 3 seconds, or do I just put the child in the microwave, shut the door for 3 seconds, and open it back up?
Has to be on for 3 seconds.
Then no.
And you don't. I mean,
absolutely no way.
Tried this because it's absolutely suicide, but I don't know what happened to the baby.
I would never do that.
Google
for $100,000.
No. How hot does a microwave get?
I'm gonna look this up right now.
3 seconds. I don't even know if it has time to warm up.
Damage. How much damage can 3 seconds in a microwave cause?
No, but I would never do it. I wouldn't do it.
I really have to think about it, but right now,
okay. The closest I could find was what would happen if a human went into a big microwave for 15 seconds. So I'm gonna look for a good answer.
What happened?
I'm trying to find the answer on this page.
Oh my gosh, a cat!
Yeah, my cat jumps right into the camera.
It would depend on could I wrap the baby in like the what's it called, like like a radiation suit type of thing. So then I totally do it.
Oh my god.
Oh, come on, Jack. Like 3 seconds, it would barely warm up. There's no way it's hitting the thing. It'd be fine. Probably cry like hell when it came out, but it would be all right.
You'd scar your child.
How old is the baby, Jack? On like 2 days?
Okay, first of all, they're literally still in the hospital at that point. Like,
all right, 2 months.
Okay. Hold up.
The way it remembers.
The real, if you could, 15 seconds would be painful but not lethal unless the power was incredibly high.
Okay.
So if I put the child in there on low for 3 seconds for $100,000, I think
low.
No, this is literally a child who just like came out of the womb. Like so they do not have enough like protection. They barely have skin.
Jacqueline, it's 3 seconds. The thing barely has time to warm up.
I wouldn't do it.
We're roasting this thing to a golden brown.
Tanning bed.
Oh my god. Okay, no, I wouldn't do it.
I don't know.
On to the next question.
I got 2 questions left. 2 questions.
Oh
These would be good. I like this. If you could be any character from any TV show, who would it be?
Monica from Friends. Just because I'm on a Friends kick.
Job twice?
Huh?
You'd get fired from your job twice. Barely have enough money to get by sometimes.
That's okay. She seems to enjoy her life.
Okay. She's anal about everything, though.
That's okay. I'm literally Monica from Friends, so it's fine. I'm like, yeah, I would be Monica from Friends. She just seems, I don't know, it just seems fun. Anyways.
I don't know. I could be one character from any TV show. Why am I tempted to pick Peter Griffin?
I knew you were going to say that.
But A, he's the laughingstock of a neighborhood, and B, he doesn't earn enough money to be able to pull off any of the stuff. However, he does acquire some ridiculous vehicles, like the Peter Copter. So,
yeah,
to the Peterang, and he goes into like a boomerang with like balls as the chin, like he has.
Does this turn you on? Well, it shouldn't because it's my side boob.
Peter. Peter Dactyl. Goes on a pterodactyl with balls for a chin. Anyway, my answer clearly has to be Frank Reynolds, aka Danny DeVito from Always Sunny.
Oh my god!
Because A, he's rich. He's the rich character of the group. B, he has no redeeming qualities, which would be really funny to have. he doesn't have to worry about doing necessarily anything, and it's not like he ever faces any hardship. And the funniest scene ever from Friends, when him and his friend try and cut the line in a water slide so they pretend that he has AIDS, and he's walking through the entire time, I have AIDS! I have AIDS! And then Charlie's behind him, he's like, yes, but it's actually, I am his doctor, he does have the AIDS, and it was from having sex with a man in 1984. He's like, no, I don't have the gay AIDS, I do not have the gay AIDS. Charlie's like, yes, in fact, he does have the gay AIDS. It is. Frank goes, yes, there are 2 types of AIDS. I do not have the gay AIDS. I have the Magic Johnson type of AIDS. It's hilarious. Anyway, last one. If you could bring back one person from the dead, who would you bring back?
Like now, like they would be the same age they were when they died?
Sure.
Or
They blipped.
they blipped, okay.
They blipped. 5 years. Yes, I'll edit this out.
I'm trying to think too, because I have one that would be like for the good of society, but I don't really want to pick this one.
Who is it?
I'd bring back Thomas Jefferson or whoever wrote. No, who wrote the Bill of Rights? James Madison? Might have been James Madison. Anyway, I'd bring back him so that way we settle the entire freaking gun debate. So that way America would stop complaining about it.
Huh?
The bear arms thing.
Well, it's 2019. They'd find a way to complain about it anyway.
Oh yeah, no, totally. But it would settle a massive debate, so that way I wouldn't have to hear about it every freaking time I look on Twitter.
That's true.
In terms of like a regular one, a funny one, I don't know.
I just love JFK, and I feel bad that he didn't get to see like his dreams imagined in reality. So like he didn't get to see the moonlight.
And it's like, here, this is your dream.
Yeah. No, or maybe I wasn't like a fan of his music, but Mac Miller, because like so many people were so depressed when he died, and like I don't know, I just feel like that would be like a nice thing.
Don't you notice that these like artists that die usually die right before they go on tour?
Really?
Michael Jackson did.
Yeah.
That'd probably be mine. I really liked Michael Jackson. So that'd probably be
Or the black Michael Jackson.
What?
The white Michael Jackson or the black Michael Jackson?
Just Michael Jackson. We're not gonna. That's a can of worms. That's a can of worms that would probably be best unopened.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave that one closed. But yeah, I'd probably pick him.
Michael Jackson or the non-diddly? No.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
That's all the questions I got. I will
Okay.
come up with more for next time because I personally like these. I think they're funny.
Yeah, I think they're funny too.
My cat just sat right in
Don't
front.
worry. Hey, the next time we tune in, Jacqueline will not, in fact, be coming to you from a children's fitting room at Kohl's. She will be in a prison with a Rubik's Cube trying to figure
I didn't even work at Kohl's this summer. How tragic. Didn't get any of my discounts for school.
Oh, I'm definitely cashing in because I'm getting one. I think I want to get this year because the beds, as you guys know, like ridiculously hard. So I'm gonna get one of the memory foam.
Get the memory foam one. I have it. It's so nice. Everyone who like when my friends hang out in my room, like sometimes people sit on my bed and they're like, I'm not getting up because your bed is so comfortable. It's more comfortable than my bed at home. It's so nice. It's like the 3-inch one, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's so nice. It's like originally
$250 and it's on $250 right now.
Yeah, plus then you get the Kohl's discount. And then is it Friends and Family Time yet?
No, that's I think.
Wait for Friends and Family Time because then you get 40% off of that.
Yeah, exactly.
I got all of my stuff for the price of that one mattress pad.
That's so sick.
I know, because I pay like $115 to $120 for the mattress pad. That's originally like $300. I was like, this is such a steal. And then all my friends this year were like, are you working there again? Can you get me that? And I'll just pay you back. Like my friend literally just texted me that yesterday. And I was like, I'm not working there. I'm sorry.
Yes, I go over to the cash out. Yes, I'd like to buy 6 mattress pads.
Yeah, they're like, what the?
5-inch memory foam mattress pad. What will you be using this for, sir? None of your business.
Yeah.
Definitely not hawking them or anything. Yeah.
No. Not reselling them.
Is that eBay? I see you on there, sir. No.
No.
Oh, I'm getting framed, bro. No.
Place I see you over there. No. I don't know what you're talking about. No. All right.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Massholes with Mike's podcast. Like I said, Jordan Leandry, that's Jeremy, and that's Jacqueline. Have a good rest of your day.
Why'd
guys.
you point? No one can see
I don't know. Okay, I'm tired.
That's Jeremy and that's Jacqueline. Have a good night, everyone.
I don't know. I'm tired. Okay?
This has been Massholes with Mike's. Bow, bow.